Hello, my name is Amaya Lampkin, and today I will be talking about prostitution and why it should be legal. Let's be frank, prostitution is no secret. A good amount of people know about the existence of prostitution, but do people know what prostitution is in depth? I'll tell you. By definition, prostitution is the practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activity with someone for payment. Basically, someone having sexual intercourse with another for money. Many people frown upon this occupation because of lack of morale, but in order to get past the morality of prostitution, we must better understand the origin and where it comes from. Prostitution is actually considered one of the oldest professions in our world, if not the oldest. Humans have been exchanging money and goods for sex for thousands of years. Prostitution is so old that the Bible even describes Israelites having something like hundreds of concubines, which back then concubines were considered less than wives or mistresses. According to the Bible, 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 3, King Solomon had something like 700 wives and 300 concubines. In ancient Rome, it was common to give tokens at brothels in exchange for sexual favors. In today's time, the common image for prostitutes we have is a group of people walking the streets, dressed provocatively, basically asking for sex. It wasn't until the Victorian era where health officials blamed prostitutes for the spread of sexually transmitted diseases, which is one of the reasons why prostitution is illegal. But I can assure you, the pros of legalization of prostitution outweigh the cons. Taking away the legalization of prostitution also takes away that person's right to their body, something like abortions and stuff like that. When sex workers are not threatened with criminalization, sex workers are better with collaboration with law enforcement, and they can identify perpetrators and sex abusers and rapists easier if they had collaboration with law enforcement. Basically, if it was legal and regulated. Prostitution is also known to be a huge contributor to human trafficking. With prostitution being legalized, we can mitigate that problem, according to Amnesty International. The legalization of prostitution would call for regulation, right? Let's be honest, regardless if it's legal or not, people are still going to do what they want to do because it's their body. Might as well regulate it and make it safer. Many like to point out the immoral nature of sex workers, but judgment, let's be honest, is for churches, families, and peers, not for courts, jail cells, law enforcement, and judges. Putting prostitutes in jail greatly contributes to a taxpayer's money. We are paying to have these prostitutes in jail, but if it was legalized, we wouldn't have to worry about that problem. Law enforcement would be on their side more and help them identify perpetrators and put those people in jail. I don't know how many people know this, but prostitution is a big thing in the black market. And it would not exist if sex workers were legitimized, licensed, medically inspected, and taxed. Just like drugs, alcohol, and gambling, those are all also crimes against morality, which we all turn a blind eye to. However, they get a pass, unlike prostitution. Let's take a look at Germany. Germany has prostitution legalized and taxed. They did the smart thing and turned a crime into an economic plus. The Netherlands is also known for tolerance of prostitution. Because of this, they have seen a decrease in sexual abuse and rape by like 30 to 40%. They have named one district or street a zone for acceptable prostitution to where females or males can prostitute themselves. The US should probably take a note or two from them. There is a concern of human trafficking, as I stated earlier, sexually transmitted diseases, and most of these problems would be mitigated if prostitution were to become legalized. Legalization would make it possible to grant protection from law enforcement to non-consenting adults and children that are forced into sexual activity. Perpetrators would, of course, be prosecuted. Workers in sex trade deserve the same treatment and rights just as any other person working in a regular workforce. Rights of workers and other trades should be protected, not taken as a joke. We are all grown and consenting adults. Sex workers deserve the same rights as any other person. We should all work together to help sex workers get the same treatment and protection they deserve. Thank you.